click on next, scroll down, click on next and submit. Okay, now another CloudFormation stack is deployed. So this time it is creating a resource. Go to resources, give a refresh. It tells whether it is completed or not. These are the events it's happening. So I have initiated, resource creation is initiated. So once resource creation is completed, the stack deployment completed. Now you see here, complete, create completed. If we go to this S3 bucket, S3 platform, if we give a refresh, you see here a new bucket got created and it has a property. That bucket name we are passing. Okay. So if I want to create a bucket, I can simply use a template, change the bucket name, deploy it. Okay. So we have added a property to the resource, but I want to add more properties. So then this is a sample code. Okay. So whenever we deploy this, what is happening? It is creating a resource and we are passing that bucket name. And what setting we need to give? The access control. And it should be private. The bucket should be private. It should not be public. And I'm applying a lifecycle configuration for this bucket. And this is what the lifecycle configuration is. And in this CloudFormation, so far, whatever the template we deployed, do we have anything in this output section? No, nothing displaying. Why? Because we are not passing anything. So what we can do, under that output, I want to get the bucket name with a description. Whatever bucket created here, that should be displayed here under output section. So resource, properties, output. Technically, we call all this as a template. So now let's go and deploy this. Create stack with new resources, upload a template, choose file, bucket2.yml, then click on next. I'm giving a stack name. So bucket3 is a stack name I'm giving. Click on next, scroll down to bottom, then click on submit. Now what happened? A bucket is going to create. Okay. And for that created buckets, some properties are going to set up automatically. A lifecycle management role is going to enable. Okay. ACL is going to set to private. Right. And the transition after 3 days, it goes to Glacier. And after 7 days, it is going to expire. Those are the values mentioned. Okay. So you see here, now a bucket created. You see this? A bucket created. If I go to permissions, you see this? Block all public access is yes. And under management, you see this? There is a lifecycle management role created. If I go here, on day 3, it is moving. On day 10, it is going to expire. Okay. So now, so you need another bucket with all these settings. Simply change the bucket name, deploy it. Change bucket name, deploy it. So basically, it's an automation thing. Okay. So this is another thing. Now, for example, you have deployed a stack. Later, you decided to update some property. For example, now the expiration period is 10 days. I decided to change it to 15 days. I have modified a stack. So now, do I need to, delete existing resources? Do I need to deploy again from scratch? Not really required. So we have an existing stack, right? So there is an option called update. So you can use this update button, use current template, replace current template, upload a template file. So then go and select the modified template, click on next, 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 and submit. So now what happened? Automatically, we are updating that existing one. So far, the lifecycle role on day 10, it is expiring. So once the deployment is completed, so this value is going to change. You see here, it is changed to day 15. So we can modify the existing one. Technically, we can update the existing stack also. That is another option when coming to CloudFormation. This is stack, deploy, you got it, right? Now, One important thing, what happened if we delete one of the stack? So if you observe the stack, it has an output section, this bucket got created. Okay, why? Because my template have an output section. So if I delete this template, what happened to the resource? Is it still going to be available? Or resource also going to delete? Any guess? Just guess.
It will be available. Resource will be available.
Resource will be available is one answer. And here in classroom, some guys are saying it will delete. Yeah. So basically, whenever you delete the template, all the resource it created also deletes. Just guess only, right? So nothing wrong in that. Right. So if we delete this stack, whatever the resources it created, those resources will delete automatically. So I'm selecting this bucket 3 stack, delete, click on delete stack. Okay. So now if we go here, this is a bucket, right? Let me give a refresh here. You see? Unexpected error. So do we have this bucket? Was not found. So it's deleted. So if you delete stack, all the associated resource also will delete. That is one important thing. Second important thing is, okay, so there is an option called rollback on failure. For example, you have prepared a cloud formation script. So that cloud formation script, like, it's going to create 2 or 3 resources. Step 1, it is going to create an IAM user. Step 2, it is going to create an S3 bucket. Step 3, it is going to create an EC2 instance. Step 4, it is going to create a database. Fine. You already prepared the template and you deployed the template. Step 1 successfully completed. Step 2 successfully completed. Step 3 EC2 instance creation also completed. But there is an error at step 4. So the stack deployment failed. Okay. So step 1, IAM user completed. S3 bucket successfully created. EC2 also successfully created. But 4th resource failed to create. Now, what happened to that existing 3 resources? The stack failure happened, right? So is it going to delete all the 3 existing resources? Or it is going to keep 3 resources and it shows failed as the 4th resource not created? It depends on our setting. Whenever we are deploying this cloud formation stack, you observe there is an option, roll back on failure. So give a stack name, click on next. So here, rollback configuration. So if any rollback happened, you want to tweak something like, cloud formation, CloudWatch logs and all. But you see here, stack failure options. The stack failed. 3 resources created successfully, 4th resources failed. Okay. If you select the first option, roll back all stack resources. That means existing 3 resources also deletes. Why? Because 4th one not created. So 100% should complete. Then only we will have all the resources. If 100% not completes, it deletes all the resources. But second option, preserve successfully provisioned resources. If this option is selected, step 4 failed. Okay, but 1, 2, 3 success, right? So we still have IAM user, S3 bucket, and EC2 instance. We can update by modifying that 4th one and we can redeploy it. We can update the stack and 4th one, we can fix the issue. Instead of deploying from scratch, instead of deleting existing resource and rebuilding again. Okay, so this is in our hand. Clear with rollback on? Okay, stack failure option, right? So that is a stack failure option. And on top of this, okay, this is what it is. And so, as I told you, again, I'm not so good at programming, guys. Okay, if you ask me to prepare a stack from scratch, yeah, I'm going to take a day. Yeah, whatever resource it is. Of course, we always have Google Map, right? So a lot of help documents you can find. But later I came to know there are a couple of tools that we can use to create this cloud formation stacks. You do activity manually, it monitors everything, it take actions, your browser actions, it converts it as a cloud formation script. Same tool you can use to create a Python code, to create a TypeScript code, to create a JSON code or YAML code, okay, or Ruby or Go language code, or a CLI command also we can generate by using that tool. There are two such type of tools. So, the AWS officially supports a tool called Farmer 2. Okay, so this is a tool. Farmer 2 is a tool. Okay, so you need to integrate your AWS account with this tool. You need to integrate. I'm getting some background noise. Any questions for me? Otherwise, please go on mute. Okay, thanks. Right. So basically, there is a browser extension. You use extensions, right, to blog YouTube ads. So there are some browser extensions. So go to this. Okay, Farmer 2 Chrome extension. Go to this and enable this. So go to extensions, enable this. I already enabled. You can find that here. This 2 symbol is that. Okay. So you also do that. That is the first step. Once you done that, then go to this website, farmer2.com. Okay. So now you need to perform the account setup here. Go to setup, introduction. Basically, it's a 4 steps. Okay, you first install this based on your browser, whether you're using Edge or Firefox or Chrome, you first install it. I'm not asking you to use only Chrome. If you're using Firefox, there is a plugin or extension for Firefox also, you install it. So then click on second step. Now you see here, it is asking us to enter IAM credentials. You go to your AWS account, and create an IAM user. You know how to create, right? So go with the programmatic access. Okay, and better to give read-only access. We really no need to give any write access. Suggest to give only read-only access. Okay, so I'm not sure this is valid credentials or not. Or I'll create a user. Add user. Programmatic access. And I can give administrator access or any other policy based on our requirement. Create user. So I'm going to get an access key ID. I copied that. I given that here. Then we got the secret access key. Copied that. Pasted that here. No session token, nothing. So you see here, logged in as CFT@Avisway9. It is speaking automatically. Then click on continue to parameters. So you want to define any parameter you can get, then click on continue to settings. Now settings completed. Click on scan account. Now it is going to scan all the resources we have in AWS. So meanwhile, I'll quickly do one thing. I'll create an EC2 instance quickly. It's okay. I just need a resource, so I've not verified what property I'm selecting and all. So now if we go here, okay, it's still scanning. So once the scanning is completed, you see here, it is showing the EC2 instance. It is showing an EC2 instance that we have in our AWS account. Now I'm trying to get a CloudFormation template to perform same activity. So I'm going to select it, add selected. Now when you click on generate, so now I need a CloudFormation template that can create same as this EC2 instance. I did manually. If I want to do same activity with CloudFormation, then select the resource, then click on generate. When I click on generate, you see here, there is a code created. So you can copy it. You can create it in your local. In future, if you are getting any request, okay, so you can change the name tag. You can change what exactly volume you are looking for, what key pair you are looking for, what instant type you can modify it. Whenever you're deploying it, similar to this EC2 instance, another resource will create. It's a bit easy, right? So you do it manually and you're getting a CloudFormation script. Okay, so not only for that resource, you take storage. Where is that? Okay, here I'm going with S3. So it is showing all the available S3 buckets. Okay, so this bucket we have created some time back, right? I'm looking for a CloudFormation script to deploy, or else in a single shot, I want to create two buckets. I can select both and I can click on generate. Now you see here, previous one only. It's still showing EC2 instance one. Storage, S3 bucket, add selected, generate. You see here, if I gave this, if I deploy it, even from the screen itself, I can deploy it. For example, I want to deploy avinash.bucket.farmer2 and .farmer2 is a bucket name I want to give. Then I can import. Click on import. What is the stack name you want to give? From farmer2, deletion policy you want to retain or delete? I want to. Click on create change set. If we already have resources, right? So it is like, okay. Change set. So it is going to update an existing one. Or you can simply copy, create it, redeploy it. So then the resources are going to create. So this is one tool I personally use. You can also now, can you generate a CloudFormation script to create an EC2 instance? Can you deploy it? Yes. Okay. So this is one tool. We have another tool. Basically this tool, right? We are using IAM and we are integrating. So if you go to EC2, you can see all the resources. Now you can find everything from this farmer2. You can find everything from this farmer2 now. So technically you can manage your entire AWS account from here. Right. So that is one. So, but I'm looking for a different thing. I want to get a Python code for the activities I'm doing, or I want to. Hey, not sure whether the tool got updated or not. Okay, so I am looking for a TypeScript, right? So where we will use TypeScript is our tomorrow's topic. Okay, so I'm looking for a Python code to perform that activity, or a TypeScript to perform that activity, or CloudFormation to perform that activity. So for that, there is another tool called, AWS Console Recorder. It is also a browser extension. So go to Chrome, AWS Console Recorder. Okay, so there is a browser extension, Console Recorder for AWS. Add this. Okay, so once you added this, whatever activity you are going to do, enable this recording. Click here, start recording. When you click on the start recording, Now in console, whatever activity you do, it will record. Click on add user. And I'm going to give a username that Avinash.1231. I'm going to select access key ID. Then click on next. I'm going to add into admins group. Again, this tool become a bit outdated. Not sure whether it generates or not. Before generating only, I'm telling. AWS screens updated. The tool not updated. That is a problem. Create user. Now an activity happened, right? So it created an IAM user. Now go here, stop recording. I'm done with my activity. Stop recording. Now, if you go to Cloud Formation, you see here, it created a user. It is creating an IAM user. The username is this. Whatever username we have defined, it is created. So this user is now added to a group called admin group. And we have selected access key and secret access key, right? Now, if I deploy this stack by changing this username and all, it will create another user with same settings. He will be part of that admin group and all. This is Cloud Formation code. Now, as I told you, similar to this Cloud Formation, we have Terraform, right? If you want to do activity with Terraform, this is a code for Terraform. This is a Terraform code to create the resource. Troposphere, another programming language. This is an option. CDK TypeScript, you will come to know that tomorrow. AWS CLI, so you first list the users and all. So then here is a command. IAM, add, create user. The username should be this. Create in this region. Add this command. So these two commands will create a user. IAM is different. So if you want to do same thing with JavaScript, it is Go language, this code. So you have Python code, you have Cloud Formation, you have Terraform. So we are generating it by using UI operations. So I depend on these tools to create the Cloud Formation scripts. I'm not expert programming. You need to know basics, way to modify, which property need to set up and all. Okay, so that you can spend some time and you can get it. So not only this, basically EC2 is not working last time. We'll see. I was curious actually. Launch instance. I enable console recording. Test. I'm selecting Amazon Linux. I'm going with T2 Micro. A key pair. I'm selecting an existing security group. I'm going with 10 gigs. Launch instance. Now instance is launched. Okay, let's stop the console recorder. All right, see. It's still showing IAM user one only. It's still showing IAM user one only. But that Farmer 2 works very well. Even AWS also recommend us to use that. I mean, they are partner with that. No, it's not working really. For EC2, for IAM, it is working. So, however, you go through both the tools. So you can use Farmer 2 always and generate a cloud formation and deploy it. So the task is pretty straightforward. Create a stack with the help of Farmer 2. Create a new EC2 instance, same as your existing one. Okay. So pass some user data also. Pass some user data also. So just observe the cloud formation it created. So yeah, that is about cloud formation. Now only thing pending is you need to learn JSON or YAML. So YAML is a bit easy. JSON also easy, but when coming to JSON and YAML, right? So in JSON, we are going to have commas, open braces, closed braces, and all brackets. If you miss one comma, also it gives an error. That is a problem. But JSON, right? No commas, no brackets, nothing. Okay. So it's a bit easy to read. So the commas, brackets is not available. So it's a bit easy compared to JSON. That's my personal opinion. So yeah. So just spend some time and get very basics. And before that, you try out these. And in interview, if you got a question, do you know cloud formation? Don't say no. Don't say no. So you mentioned in my organization, we have some standard, okay, repositories. We maintain some templates in that repositories. When any new client onboard is happening and all, we are going to modify that existing cloud formation templates. Okay, so then that modified one we are going to deploy. So I know how to modify, what properties need to set up and all based on requirement. You can mention I cannot write from line one, but I use tools like a farmer tool. I can generate, I can modify it based on client requirement and we will deploy. You can mention that. So now the interior things, you're not saying no, first thing. You're saying the activities like, which happens really. And you're admitting like, you have some standard templates. Even in organization, we are going to have. Every client, we are going to maintain a repository. We are going to have some standard templates for them. We use it, we modify it, we deploy it. So for every client, we are not going to write from scratch, right? So you're saying that, and also you're admitting that you're using help tools, and also that interior definitely satisfies with your answer. Okay. Even if he recruits you, also he won't ask you to write from scratch. He will give some guidelines or he will share an existing ones and all. So that would be easy for you also. If you know basic programming, it is just a cakewalk for you guys. Not so difficult. Tomorrow we will discuss another service called CDK. Okay. So that CDK is purely developers thing. Or we'll discuss the day after tomorrow. Sorry. Okay. So that is purely developer thing. So if you know one of the programming language, you can use it. You use your programming language. You create resources by using your own like a Java, Python, TypeScript, Node.js. Okay. End of the day, convert it and deploy it to AWS. So that we will discuss. Okay. Mainly for developers. Right. So any questions on this cloud formation now? Spend some time and deploy an EC2 instance by using cloud formation template, guys. Okay. It's a free tier. It's cloud formation won't cost us anything. And that's a certification question for cloud practitioner certification exam. Cloud formation is free, but whatever the resource you create by using cloud formation, make sure you are selecting T2 micros only. If you are launching EC2 instance and all, select T2 micro. Cloud formation won't cost us anything. You can deploy n number of the templates. Even whatever the templates I have just shown that, right? I'll share it right after the session. I'll zip it and I'll upload to Slack. You download and you also just modify that and you deploy it. Okay? Yeah. So how exactly we have this cloud formation? Similar way we have Terraform. Terraform is same as cloud formation. What you do with cloud formation? You write a code, you deploy it, resource creation happen. So same thing we can do with Terraform. But the programming syntaxes are going to be different. For example, if you take Python, the logic syntax or everything is different, right? So the same thing, it has its own. Python has its own. So you see, even sometime back also, we have Python code, we have Java code, we have TypeScript code. So why those many? Why? Because every program is designed to perform same activity. Similar way, Terraform also do same. Okay. Yeah. I have a book on Terraform. So I'll share that over Slack. You refer that if you're really interested about Terraform. Okay.
Avinash,
So
I have one question.
yes.
Can we use this cloud formation template to create the resources in other cloud provider like GCP or Azure?
Azure, this Farmer 2, I'm not sure. So this Farmer 2 for Azure, let's give it a try. Okay, again, I already have it, right? So it is showing only AWS resources.
No, Avinash, if we have this template already, then can we use this template to create the resource in Azure?
No. So this AWS template, you cannot use it for Azure. So Azure, it's very easy. Azure itself will give a template. Whenever you are launching any resource, in final step, there is an option called resource validation. Once that validation completed, there only you have an option. Okay, if you want to do same activity programmatically, okay, this is a template. So you no need to depend on any third-party tools to get the script. I assume your question is wrong. So can we integrate Cloud Farmer 2 with Azure? That is a question I assumed, but no. Whatever Farmer 2 is giving, that you can use for only AWS. Why? Because the resource names also different, right? Here, the property we are going to set as an instance, but in Azure we call it as Azure VM. So there is, if you try to pass something with instance parameter, nothing found in Azure. So, but in Azure, it's very easy. This cloud formation, right? So, resource access manager is there. So, you can just simply take the code and you deploy it. Azure itself will give that. AWS is not giving that.
Okay.
If
So,
AWS also is
Avinash,
giving, it is very, very easy.
can we have any script which is independent of any cloud provider? Like we can use the same script in all the three AWS provider. I mean, three cloud provider like AWS or Azure or GCP.
No, I don't think so. There is a single script to deploy or create resource across the cloud providers.
But the naming terminologies will be different now, so we cannot use
Yeah,
this.
terminology is different. The terminology is the problem here, right?
Yeah.
For example, I want to create an IAM user. In AWS, we call as an IAM. Okay. So in Azure also we call as an IAM. But in Azure, where we create users, in Azure Active Directory, we create users. But in AWS, we are going to create. So if you want to create an IAM, if you want to create a user, here we are calling it as a region as a Northern Virginia, and you are going to pass it. But in Azure, you need to pass properties like Azure Active Directory. But Azure Active Directory is not really required with AWS. So I assume there is no tool, but Terraform supports all the three. You can use Terraform to create AWS resource, Azure resource, as well as GCP resource. But one template you cannot across all the three. That's my assumption only. The reason also mentioned the terminology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. And if you want, you can have the templates or delete the templates. It's in your hand. Right? So we have a small topic called CI/CD that we will discuss. Then we'll close the session. So basically, what exactly CI/CD means? Okay, fine. So what is the purpose of it? Okay, for automation to deliver continuously. Any other? Okay. So have you, like, most of you from computers background only, right? So have you heard about waterfall methodology? Okay. So what exactly that waterfall methodology is? Okay.
Not back, sir. You cannot back.
We cannot go back. So it just waterfall, like, there is a, like,
Going water.
waterfall. Yeah. So can we take that water back again? Bit difficult, right? So see, you want to develop something. You want to develop something. So generally how things happen, right? So we are going to have first marketing manager. He will go with the client and he will tell about our company, right? So we did that, we did this, and this is our revenue and all. So he will tell all the things and he will, like, so then call technical team. The technical team will have a discussion with client what exactly if we want to continue with our organization. So then that guy is going to tell the client is going to inform us, okay, this is what my requirement. I need a 10 pages website. Okay, then first step is requirement gathering. We'll discuss with client and we are going to take, okay, how exactly the first page should look like. Okay, so then second page look like everything. We'll take all the requirements. Once requirement gathering is completed, we'll come and we will prepare the environment. So he need PHP or he want to use us to Java or he want to use us to .NET, right? So we prepare the setup. Then we will allocate the developers. So client given 10 pages outlooks or the instructions, right? We will prepare all the 10 pages. Okay. And once that website is ready, the testing team will come, whether everything is working as expected or not. So they will test it and we are going to deliver it to the client. Okay. So client expected in different manner. Whoever went for requirement gathering, he understood different. He explained something different to developers. So the output came different. So will it matches with client requirement? And, so definitely. So why? Because till that product completes, he cannot see, the client cannot see what exactly we are doing, how exactly the progress happening and all. He cannot see, right? So you have given final product, it is not expected. And we followed waterfall methodology. Step by step. We cannot build from scratch. If we want to build from scratch, client need to pay again. Obviously, again, he need to give his requirement. Again, we need to explain to developers. They need to rework on it. So technically, this is a waterfall methodology. Right? We cannot go back in this process. And it is not so success. The reason? Mismatch. Client expectations, what we deliver. Okay. So when coming to this agile methodology or Kanban methodology, so instead of designing all 10 pages, instead of designing all 10 pages and delivering a final product, so we are going to ask client to join a stand-up call, daily call, or technically we call it as a scrum call. Okay. We are going to have terminology like a sprint, retrospects. Don't worry about that much in detail. In simple, mention you are going to have a daily call. Okay. Client will join. He will ask us what is the progress. So you are not going to work on all 10 pages. You or your team is working on page number 1. You both are working. Your team is working on page number 1. End of the day, evening, client joined. He verified page 1. If he want any modification, he is going to inform immediately. So you are going to modify immediately. Okay. So then if you follow same method for all 10 pages, okay, next week another call. He's going to review. He will say modifications. Another week, another page, modify. So by end of 10 weeks, you're going to prepare 10 pages and you're going to deliver it. So this time, we are going to match his expectations, right? We are going to deliver what client is expecting. Okay. So this process is agile methodology. It's a continuous process. It's a continuous process. Every week you are reviewing. Every week the testing team is testing. Instead of testing all 10 pages in previous method and waterfall methodology, once that the 10 pages is ready, then only testing team is coming to the scenario. Till that time, they're not doing anything. When coming to our project, they might be busy with another project. Okay. So, but they're not doing anything in our project, right? But here, every single day, you are engaging developers, you're engaging client, you're engaging testing team. They are testing it, you are modifying it, the changes are deploying again. Okay, you're building it, you're delivering it. And it is going to be a continuous process. Okay, in simple, this is what we can say CI/CD. In general, continuously integrating, continuously delivering their client required changes. We can apply same thing for software delivery also. So generally, end of the day, generally developers, they are going to work on the product and all, and they are going to prepare one final product, and they are going to take the final product and they are going to place in GitHub. We have a tool called GitHub, right? So they are going to place all the code in the GitHub. So generally, a application administrator, he will take all the code. He's going to prepare a build. So that build he is going to take and is going to deploy into a server. So then testing team will come. They will do the testing for the couple of days. And then, so here also the process is bit lengthy. Whatever work I did today, the testing is going to happen after 3 or 4 days or after a week. So if they found any bug or defect or issue, okay, so they will come back to us and they will ask us to fix it, but I already did that 10 days back. Okay, now I need to rework on that by keeping my existing work aside. Okay, so the process is a bit lengthy, just like waterfall. But whenever you automated the things, whenever any developer committed the code, automatically a pipeline need to trigger, the code need to deploy, it need to pick automatically, it need to prepare a build and it need to deploy into a server automatically. Testing team need to get a notification automatically. They need to start working on testing immediately. Okay, whenever you are going for a coffee, commit a code. Whenever you are going for a lunch, commit a code. So then this process automates automatically. So you no need to wait till end of the day to commit your changes and all. So the same process. Earlier, while leaving, we used to, but now while going for coffee also, lunch also, snack also, right? So the entire process is happening now. So you are engaging by making it small parts, chunks. A big part made as a small chunks, and the process is happening with that small parts. Okay, so that is a CI/CD mechanism. So I already shared GitHub course and Jenkins course. Jenkins is one of the widely used CI/CD tool. So I recommend you to complete the Jenkins course and GitHub course. However, I'll talk about GitHub and all. Okay, AWS have its own tool. I'll talk about that. Right. So how we can use that, we will discuss. So the first thing, for example, let's assume we all four working in a project, same project. So I'm working on one feature, he's working on another feature, and another two working on different feature. End of the day, we are going to work on our own laptops, right? We are going to work on our own laptops. So where the code actually stores? In our local laptop only. Okay. So now, how? So we all four working for same project. How we can combine that code? By connecting a pen drive and copy data here, copy data from him. Is that a feasible solution? No, right? So all the developers working in a project, they can maintain a repository, central repository. Repository means the place where our code resides, where we are going to store our code. So technically, there's a terminology is repository. Okay, so we are going to put all our code into that repository. If any conflict happened, like the lead and all, they are going to validate that and they'll fix that conflicts and all. That is his job. Fine. Okay, so whatever code I'm writing in my laptop, once I done with the changes and all, so then I'm putting in a central repository in a location that I'm not storing in this laptop. If this laptop crashed, or for example, suddenly I left the job today itself, so I decided to stop going to office from today onwards. But all the work is in this laptop only. So however, I don't want to go to office, I kept laptop with me only. Right. So then what the lead or the team will do? Your all changes are with you only, right? So generally, we don't keep this code and everything in our laptop. We work on this laptop and end of the day, we put it into central repository. So to store that code, we have lot of tools. We have GitHub, GitLabs, Bitbucket. Okay. And we have
Airflow.
Airflow is different. Airflow is not a repository. Airflow, we have DAGs, that is different concept. Okay. So along with that, we have AWS code commit. Right? So before this, we used to have SVN software, Tortoise SVN. So the advanced version of that SVN is Git, GitHub, GitLabs, Git Enterprise. Okay. So we have such type of repositories. AWS also has its own repository service called Code Commit. AWS own repository service name is Code Commit. So I can prepare my code and all. I can put all the code into AWS central repository. Similar way, another IAM user is there. He is also working. So he want to put the code, he can put the code into central repository. Okay. Multiple users code is in central repository. We can take it, we can build it, we can deploy it. We can automate this process. That is what CI/CD is. First, go with phase by phase. First phase, how we can put code into repository. Okay. So anyone aware about Git? Or anyone completed GitHub course I shared? Okay, I'll explain. So AWS Code Commit uses GitHub commands only. No new commands, nothing. AWS Code Commit doesn't have any new set of commands and all. Whatever commands we use for GitHub, same commands you can use. Before working on that, first you need to have GitHub software in your laptop. Okay. So for that, go to Git for Windows, git-scm.com. Go to this web page. So you see here for Windows, here is a tool. Download this and install this. I already told you about this earlier. If you want to use SSH command to get connected to your Linux instance, I told this method. Not sure whether you remember or not. Okay. So same tool. If you already installed, if you have the tool, well and good. So first install this tool. If you are using Linux, install that Git package. Okay. Just search for Git download. You based on your operating system, you can find Mac OS, you go here, you download. Windows, you go there and you download. So Linux, you go there and you download. First, have that in your local laptop. How to verify whether we have Git software in our laptop or not? Open command prompt, Git, enter. Okay, so What happened to this? All right, I'll do one thing. Maybe some path issue and all. I will use Visual Studio Code. No. Where is that? Where is that? What happened to this? No. Okay, let me open a file. So how to get the terminal? Anyone can help me? This is to run.
So you have the terminal option next to run.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Right. So we got the terminal here. So yeah. So here Git again, it's giving an error. Seems some issue.
To initialize, sir.
Git -version.
Yeah,
Only sim-
the Git itself is not showing. So it's a problem with that path. The installed path, libraries, some libraries are missing, or I think I need to update that. Okay. Another option is I can launch an EC2 instance and download and install, then discuss. We'll discuss tomorrow, or you guys are okay till 10:30?
Yes, sir. Tomorrow we'll discuss, sir.
Okay.
Please share interview.
Okay, we'll
Okay.
discuss tomorrow then. Even I need to fix that issue. Like, instead of launching an EC2 instance, generally it worked actually.
Can we uninstall Git and can we reinstall it? That might be solve the issue.
Yeah, we can, but it's showing some package or path issues, right? So basically in Mac, right? So there is a developer tool itself. It's a 3.5 GB something. The package size is 3.5 GB. That's the reason I'm not doing it.
Oh.
Yeah, I need to reinstall that entire 3.5 GB developer package. Basically the package name also. You can see here, if I go here, when I'm giving this, you see here, XC run. So it's bit. Yeah. So I will fix it. I'll come back. If that is not working, I'll show different. I'll keep the environment ready and I'll explain you. For you guys, it's going to be pretty straightforward. Okay.
Avinash, one more thing.
Yes, please.
Avinash, that Linux link you have provided, no, it is not working first.
Linux link is not working. Basically, the link itself works only